He knocked again. Now what? When Jonah moved into the old apartment, he was relieved to finally find a place he could afford. The building was ancient, the wallpaper yellowed with age, and the stairwell smelled of dust and damp wood. But the rent was cheap, and that was all that mattered. On his first night, he heard a strange sound. Knock, knock, knock. 3 slow knocks. He opened the door. The stairwell was empty. Shrugging it off, he went back inside. An hour later, it happened again. Knock, knock, knock. He checked. No one. The next morning, he asked his elderly neighbor, a woman with deep shadows under her eyes, "Did you hear someone knocking last night?" The color drained from her face. "If you hear it again," she whispered, "don't open the door." "Why not?" But she turned away without answering. The following night, Jonah waited. Just after midnight, the knocking returned. Knock, knock, knock. This time he ignored it. Then he heard something else. A voice, soft, raspy. "Jonah." His blood ran cold. Nobody in the building knew him well enough to call his name. "Jonah, let me in." Slowly he approached the peephole. A woman stood outside his door. Long black hair covered her face. "Who are you?" he called out. No answer. Then very slowly she lifted her head. Jonah stumbled backward. Her eye sockets were empty. Dark holes stared back at him, and yet she was smiling. The next morning, Jonah rushed to his neighbor's apartment. When he told her what he had seen, she began to tremble. "She saw you." "Who?" "Years ago, a woman lived here. One night she disappeared. They searched for weeks and never found her. Since then, she appears at people's doors." "What does she want?" The old woman looked him dead in the eyes. "To be invited inside." Jonah decided to leave for a few days. That evening, while packing his bags, he heard the knocking again. But this time it wasn't coming from the front door. It was coming from his bedroom. Knock, knock, knock. His stomach twisted. Slowly he walked toward the bedroom door. The sound was definitely coming from inside. But he lived alone. With a shaking hand, he opened the door. No one was there. The room was empty. Then he noticed the fogged-up window. A message had been written across the glass, from the inside. "I'm already in." 3 days later, the police entered Jonah's apartment. He was gone. No signs of a struggle, no evidence of a crime, only a message written on the bedroom window. The officers photographed it, but when they reviewed the photo later, the words had changed. They no longer read, "I'm already in." Instead, they said, "Thank you for inviting me.